Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are flipping through the bullet journal I used for the first half of 2025, and I forgot how much I love the color and design of this notebook. This notebook is from Notebook Therapy. I will have the exact design linked in the description. And before we get into the flip through, let's have a look at the wear and tear of the notebook. I love their linen cover so much. At this point, I have tried their linen cover, the vegan leather cover, and I recently just got my hands on their velvet cover, and I have to say that the linen cover still remains my favorite, and I feel like it's the most carefree out of all of them. There are definitely little scuffs at the corners and creasing at the spine, but yeah, this might be one of my favorite designs from Notebook Therapy. Let's now get into the flip through. I will mostly let the background music run and will make comments here and there on things I want to point out. For my future log, I use different colors for different kinds of events, so I wrote a key for it on a post-it note and kept it in my journal. I didn't use the second page of my future log at all, but it was nice to have there nonetheless and use it as a date reference. The left page is kind of personal, so it is just covered up with a piece of paper, and I fell off pretty hard with my mood tracker here in June. I skipped a page at the beginning before I started my monthlies in case I needed that space for anything, and now let's get into January, which I think is probably my favorite theme out of the year so far. It might be the new year motivation and creativity kick, but flipping through January just makes me so happy. We have another pink theme here for February. I made a lot of pink themes at the beginning of the year. There are also a ton of bite marks in the pages of February. My bullet journal has a ton of bite marks. In general, paper is my bird's favorite thing to chew on, but it seems to be very concentrated in this month for some reason. For March, I did a matcha theme. I really like the drawings I did for March, but not so much the colors. My collection of markers isn't the most extensive, so I felt like some colors were a little off, but I used what I had and I don't think it turned out that bad. And then we go into April, our third pink theme. In this notebook, I did a cherry blossom theme for April, and flipping through it felt like the pages were blooming back at me. And sometimes I make little doodles in my bullet journal and never end up coloring them in, like you see here. Going into May, I was not doing so well mentally. If you've watched my May setup, you might know the story, and I really abandoned my bullet journal this month. Here, I just have a post-it note that I wrote my tasks in because I didn't even make the setup until we were a few days into May. May was also the start of my blue theme streak. I used a lot of blue in May, which carried on into June. For June, I did an orange theme with lots of blue accents. I also tried out a content calendar for June, but I didn't use it that much. The weekly spreads in June were also very minimal. My mental state still wasn't great, which also caused me to not fill in my mood trackers at all throughout June. And that's the end of my monthly setups. I do have a few pages left at the back, which I could fit in one more month, but I thought since I can only fit in one more month, I should just start a new notebook and have the year be evenly split in half. I also want to show you the back pages of my bullet journal. With nearly all of my themes, I would have tested out the colors to see if they would work together, and you can see here that for my tulip theme, I tested out drawing them super big as well, but eventually went with the tiny tulips. The reason I use the back of my notebook and not a separate piece of paper is so that I can test out the color on the same paper texture, and it's just nice to have an archive at the back of the notebook. And here you can also see the space I use to clean my letter stamps. Usually when I use stamps in my bullet journal, I would just open to the back here and use this corner to clean off the ink. I also used the space at the back here to plan out the layout for my second half of the year setup, which if you haven't seen that video yet, you can go check it out. It is on my channel. I didn't plan it out extensively, but it gave me a rough idea. That was the flip through of the bullet journal I used for the first half of the year. Let's now put it back in its box and I can keep it on my bookshelf. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. My vlogging channel is linked down below if you are interested. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Bye!